Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Alright, guys, I'm not sure if I did this right. OBS, the software I used, just did an update. So, welcome to the channel. I'm just making sure we are good to rock and roll. And it does look like we are. So welcome everybody. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day today. Welcome to this week's swing trading live stream. Hope you guys are killing it. In today's video, today's live, we are going to be talking about, swing trading stocks, strategies, the approach, how to find some of these stocks. So I hope you guys all enjoy it. If you do, hit that like button, subscribe. And if you guys want to learn more about swing trading, check out our school called Black Friday, 51% off. So check it out. We have, private live streams, quizzes, lectures, a group chat, but more importantly, we teach you to trade, which is super important because the trading world is covered in scammers and we try our hardest not to be. So, check it out down below, guys, and let's jump into this. If you have any questions as well, feel free to ask in the chat room, and let's jump into it. All right. Alrighty, guys, so we are up and ready to rock and roll here. So, alright, so not sure why, but I can't wrap my head around the strategy. Alright, so we'll break it down here. So the first thing, you've been paper trading from what I remember, but so the first thing I look for here is a stock on an upward trend, right? With TXN here, this is a stock here we've traded in the past. We've done very well off it. So we're going to talk about kind of why I entered with a small position and how we can hopefully make some money off this thing. So looking at this thing, great upward trend, okay? Looking at this, you guys can see just this nice support on this trend line, right? You guys can see here. So it hits this thing several times, right? Establishing good support. So it hits it, buying pressure, buying pressure, buying pressure. And then recently, it's coming in contact with that again. Okay, so we have that good trend line, which is just an overall support for this stock. Okay, we also have this other red line down here, which is the 200-day moving average line. Okay, this thing has acted as support in the past, as you guys can see. So, it sold off down from like 220 to 190. Okay, so it sold off. Let's look at percentage wise. So it sold off about 12%, okay? A lot of people get nervous when a company sells off. So for me, I always look at sell off as opportunities. So, looking at this here, I also want to look at the RSI. The RSI was trading for 36. The last time it was trading for 36 was in here. What happened? Good buying pressure. Previous to that was in here where we had good buying pressure. Previous to that was back in here where we had good buying pressure. So now let's recap. Stock on an upward trend on that trend line support, right? That thick line like this, that straight one. Also, the red moving average line acts as support. So we have two supports. Okay. Another thing you guys can do here is look at the lower time frame. Okay. Lower time frame is important because you can look for supports. You can look for breakout. So with TXN here, this one here is honestly a little different. I didn't trade this thing based off of a breakout. Normally I always try to, but with this one here, one of the main reasons I entered was because of the price. And I thought, okay, if we could enter on that support, right? We enter on that support on the daily. We keep our stop loss, so the max amount of money we're willing to lose, about 2% for possible push back up to that resistance. A 4-to-1 risk and reward, which is really good. And so this one is a little outside the norm. I really didn't I didn't wait for a breakout. I'm more going, okay, I like the price. I like where it's at with the RSI, with the moving average line. Let's take a small trade, and we can always buy more on that breakout. So if I can get in at a lower price, and then buy a little more as the stock goes up a little bit or more of a confirmation for a breakout, I can make a little more money. So with TXN here, this one is a stock that we just bought. We're going to see if we can get some buying pressure out of this. This past week in general has been one of these weeks, in my opinion, where, we've seen some false breakouts. We've seen stocks honestly not move as much. And I do think towards, normally, once we get closer to that new year, we do see a little bit of a slowdown in January. Let's look up month by month. All right, so here is, all right, so December here, I was a little wrong, but you guys can still see. So this is just the S&P returns. So we do have this nice gradual, and then January actually isn't too bad. So, I do think hopefully it's just the beginning of this month. We're just seeing a little volatility, and I think that's completely normal. But all right, looking at some of the other stocks here that show potential. Okay, ExxonMobil, right? This one here looks really nice. I actually really like this stock here. This one, looking at this thing, what do we see? Great trend line. Okay, great trend line. So it hits this thing, good buying pressure. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, RSI's at a 32. So we have trend line support, 200-day moving average line support, and then on the hourly here, I do think for me to be interested, we would want to see, right, some breakout of some form, or at least some consolidation. You can see where it kind of formed that newer low today. So that means sellers are still in control. If we get a day where this thing starts to squeeze up a little bit, we might be in on it. We might be in on this position here. Yeah, ExxonMobil looks great. We have LEN here that looks interesting. LEN, 200-day moving average play. This one here is a stock that we found today. And for all the members in the course, in the group, check out our new Finvest scanner. I was messing around with it today, and I will say some of those stocks look pretty good. MLI here, this one here, 90-day moving average play, looks pretty good. We're seeing some more, a little bit more consolidation, not as much sell-off. We saw it in the past here, so hopefully we can get that trend to at least break above that 90-day moving average line. It's kind of using that 50 right now. We had the test of it earlier today where it tested it and then kind of sold off a little bit. We were going to enter if we could get like an hour above this thing, but since it sold off, we just moved on. But yeah, this one here looks pretty good. Hopefully we can get a good move going up. PHM here, looking at this, good trend. I think for us, to maybe 121 in that range. You uploaded a new Finvest video in the course. I did not. I took a screenshot of it and I put it in the group chat. Let me make sure it's still in there. It's under trade ideas. Yes, trade ideas. You will see the scanner here. Looks pretty decent. Then we got BGC that's looking promising. We're just waiting for some sort of move to break out. That's all we're waiting for, right? We see so many good stocks now that we're seeing a little sell off. We gotta be patient and not chase. And this one here, we want to get in on that breakout of the 90, something like that. We had the test of it, earlier. You can see just that trend, that good breakout. Even if you entered here, stock pushed up, tested it and sold off. But yeah, this one here, we're just waiting for that. We talked about that one. EOG here. This one here's on that channel downtrend. So honestly, there could be a move from like 127 to 130 with a stop at 125. Risk $1 to make $3-4. Not bad for a possible breakout. You guys can see very volatile stocks. So it does swing a little bit. It would be a 90-day moving average play. So we'll see what happens there. AQST, we've traded this one in the past 200-day moving average play. You guys can see that wick right here represents buying pressure. RSI is at a 34. Hourly doesn't look super good, but we could see a little more buying pressure here coming soon. OSK just got some sell-off here today. What are we looking at on the daily? On the daily, yeah, trend line play. Obviously the main concern of this one is going to be just the kind of, a little breakout there. But actually, this one doesn't look too bad. But yeah, good trend line going up. Hopefully we can get a push up to 126 area. So, with finding stocks to swing trade, now that we kind of covered what we look for, how do you find those plays? So you guys are going to need a scanner. There's millions of different ways to scan for opportunity. You can use Google. You could literally Google. But more importantly, I like to use Moomoo, which is the broker I am using. They offer great scanning. So I'll put a link right in here. So if you guys want to sign up. So what do we look for, right? We look for a stock here that's on an upward trend that is sold off down to some level of support, right? That's kind of like the standard go-to. And then you look at lower time frames for buying pressure. So, looking at some of these here, we can go on, let's see. Let's just pull up Finvez. It's a little easier. We'll look at both here in a sec. But all right, Finvez here. What we look for, it's very simple. Everybody always asks, how do you find stocks? How do you find stocks? Well, stocks, I'm sorry, you can find the best stock, but if you're buying at the wrong time, you're going to lose money. So, I think we kind of showed that. Scanners and stocks, they're only one piece to a massive puzzle. But looking at here, what do we see here? So for me, exchange doesn't really matter. But one of the first things I think is important to do is to look at the groups. So you can see, sectors that are performing well, right? Customer, this thing, communication, tech, healthcare. So you kind of want to see like where money is going. You want to see where money is going and how you can make money off this pretty much. So, all right, so we'll just see. Okay, communication services is kind of in the top 3 in tech. So what you can do is go to your screener and then go to sector and then find something that has potential, those sectors that you like. We'll just leave them blank for now. But one of the things here is to make sure that there is volume with your stock. So, I want to go here real quick. Average volume, we want over 500,000. At some point, can you go over the strategy again? I think I missed some because I was taking notes so far. I have an upward trend, straight line, moving average, good RSI. That's buying pressure. You want to make sure we have good volume, but normally the scanner kind of filters that out. So over 500,000 you want. You also want support on like the hourly or some sort of just lower time frame, right? You want some sort of lower time frame support that could hold up, so you want that. You want to wait for, you could wait for a breakout. So like for ExxonMobil, you can see just that downward trend. So right now, sellers are in control. So there's 2 things you could look for. You could look for a breakout, of the trend or moving average line. So you'd get in up here where pretty much you have like a whole hour candle above this trend. Kind of like, okay, it's not going to just go up and then tank down, where you have like a candle or 2 or even a day above this trend will work. And then, so you could enter on the breakout, or you could enter on like, if we can get like a turnaround going this way. Like imagine if this stock started rallying its way up, you'd see a trend going in this direction. Since it fell through, obviously we wouldn't want to enter, but you would want to get in on like a trend line going up. Let me see. if we have it with any. I think this one here is what we traded. Yeah, so you can see, this was a mistake I made last week or earlier this week actually, is I should have been a little more patient with this stock, knowing it had a hard time breaking above the 200. You can see in the past where it just had a hard time, breaking above these. Even when it did, it sold off. I should have known, right? So, I should have waited a little bit longer. And you can see just this trend line, here. So we find the trend, something like that. You get in on that breakout or consolidation. You hold, until it breaks through some moving average lines or supports, something like that. But getting back on track to this here, finding those stocks here. So average volume, you want over 500,000. You want a stock on an upward trend. There's several ways with FinVez you can do it. You can go to the channel or pattern and do channel up, so you guys can see that all these stocks have some sort of buying pressure, but you want to find them that has kind of dipped down. So you can go to like 20-day low is a good one. You could do new low, so you guys can see now like this stock popped up and now it's sold off. So that sell off is what brings that opportunity. So like, what is this one? ASTL. Then after you find a play, you go in and then you draw it out on your chart. You go back to your Moomoo account and you draw this thing out. So we would look at the daily. Yeah, we've traded this thing in the past. Wow, look at that. We bought it down here at 7 and it went to 12. But anyways, 90-day moving average play. The RSI is at a 35, which is good. So you guys can see just this stair step of selling pressure. So we had the test of it here where it pretty much popped up, and that's why we would want to wait. We would want to wait for a day above this line, or at least an hour. So now it's just kind of selling off. So we'd wait for a breakout. So you just throw, an alert up here. So if it just gets a little buying pressure, you're ready to rock and roll. So that's kind of what you do. You also, let me see here. Let me see. Explore. You also can go to the Explore tab with Moomoo, and they do have a hot strategies tab where they do have patterns and stuff, which is cool. This is why I like Moomoo. I mean, I don't look at this every day, don't get me wrong, but I do think learning pattern recognition and understanding those flags and wedges, you can do this, and you can see the returns that it's had. But then you can go to the screener, and then it's the exact same thing with FinVez. So you could do, good volume. You could do technical. You could put those moving average plays, quotes, new 20-day low, like I said, volume. All of that same stuff here is important. Oh, you guys can kind of see. But you can do the same stuff, right? With Moomoo. And honestly, I like being able to have all of my stuff right in one spot. So like I can go in, and I do it quite often. I just go in and we'll just click through some of these. So like we had this one on watch, and I found it right here, ExxonMobil. And so you can see like where a stock tries to get that buying pressure above that 200. This could have been a really good short side where you get in on that breakdown. So you start your short there. But you guys can see just how clear these moving average lines actively are. So we recently added the 50-day moving average line, which is that yellow one. My thought process behind that one is just to get in on more scalp trades. I'm trying to get, where I hold a position for a day to 2 days instead of 6 to 9. But I still think either way, it's fine, So, but yeah, go through, continue to look for these plays to evaluate. You know, and this is what makes up trading. Like this one here looks not too shabby, right? You guys can see the confirmation of buying pressure there. Hourly, we would want to push above the 50, so at like 74. Yeah, and this is what makes up trading. A lot of people think that it's this glorious thing, when in reality, it's just very, very repetitive looking for plays, you know, seeking opportunity. You know, something like that actually isn't too bad. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. You know, we'll make another video later today. You know, and we'll talk more about like candlesticks and stuff like that. Cause I know you guys have been asking me that, and I do want to film it for you. So if it's not up today, it'll be up this weekend. So alrighty. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you guys did, hit that like button, subscribe, check out our school. We got our Black Friday sale going on. You know, you guys won't regret it. Like, subscribe.